Tonight on KGW News, suspected thieves caught on a rooftop.
This is a real problem. We need to stop this now.
What this store owner says has been stolen 5 times, that's costing him tens of thousands. Plus, a Portland man facing nearly 400 charges. How authorities say he used these hidden cameras to secretly record children.
And the I-5 bridge project is one step closer to breaking ground after the Coast Guard helps clear a major hurdle.
My main hope is that something is done before it falls down.
Then later, it's the season premiere of Friday Night Hoops.
1, 2, 3, play!
As we cheer on the high school players back on the court. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko, and first tonight, a big step forward around plans to build a new I-5 bridge, with the Coast Guard signing off on a fixed span over the Columbia, saving the project some $1 billion. So as Catherine Cook reports, the new crossing is still billions over budget, with a major deadline looming.
While the $1 billion savings is big, a draft document released earlier this month suggests that the total bridge project price tag could still be as much as $7 billion over budget. Still, project leaders will take the wins.
We've heard lots of congratulations today and excitement.
After years of setbacks and challenges for the Interstate Bridge Replacement Program, Friday brought a major win. The U.S. Coast Guard signed off on a fixed span design rather than a drawbridge, meaning no more bridge lifts.
The decision by the Coast Guard has given us basically a green light to remove the red light on I-5.
Carly Francis is interim program administrator at IBR. She says the fixed span design not only moves the program forward, it saves $1 billion. But bigger challenges remain. The project appears to be less than half funded. Draft documents released last week estimate the total project cost at $13.6 billion. With current funding, that leaves a $7 billion deficit.
The price tag is incredible for the project. And when are they starting?
My main hope is that something is done before it falls down.
IBR's goal is to break ground by September. Doing so would ensure they retain nearly $1 billion in federal grant funding. But if the full project is only 50% funded, how would that work? Francis says the $6.5 billion they have now should cover what they're focused on first, building the bridge and the approaches.
That will facilitate starting the program, and then we'll continue to work on funding over time to complete the program.
The next step is the federal environmental review. That's dragged on for years because they were basically waiting on whether this would be a fixed bridge or a drawbridge. And now, with the Coast Guard's decision, they're one step closer to knowing that answer. In Vancouver, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Developing tonight, a Portland man is under arrest and facing almost 400 charges related to child sex abuse material. Authorities say he used cameras hidden in cell phone power adapters and external batteries like these. He's accused of putting them inside private homes of people he knew and then secretly recording 6 children and 5 adults in bedrooms and bathrooms. The charges against 26-year-old Fonte Gladden include 86 counts of using a child in display of sexually explicit conduct. Portland police now want to hear from anyone who believes they may have been recorded. Meanwhile, authorities are looking for the culprits caught on camera allegedly breaking into a Southeast Portland business. Take a look. You can see someone make their way to the roof of Montevilla Sewing on Southeast Stark early this morning and then eventually turn the security camera away. The store's president says that's where 2 HVAC units were stolen. He believes the thieves were after the copper inside and says 3 other units have been stolen from the store, and just since September. That's a total of 5. Each unit costs about $25,000, and the store could now lose its insurance.
This is a real problem. We need to stop this now because businesses cannot afford to do business in Portland if this is not getting taken care of.
The president of the neighborhood association there believes this is part of a bigger theft ring and says 7 businesses in that area have had HVAC units taken. Portland police say they are investigating. All right, let's switch to a live look over downtown Portland on this Friday night as we head into another clear day tomorrow, though you might notice a bit of wind there. Matt's here with a first look at your holiday weekend forecast. Happy Friday, Matt.
Thanks, David. Yeah, the normally windy areas are very windy tonight. That includes, of course, the western part of the gorge, the east side of Portland, and up the West Hills, which get hammered with the east winds pretty well, too. In Portland right now, 41 degrees. Winds out of the south-southeast at 16. but they're stronger elsewhere. Look at Troutdale, sustained at 30. East winds continuing into McMinnville and Aurora, but it's more of a north wind. What happens is the wind comes out of the gorge, and then it begins to spread and follow the terrain down the Willamette Valley there. So that's what's happening with the winds in the metro area right now. They're still pretty strong in Newport and North Bend, too. So they are extending still off the Oregon coast. The wind gusts today were impressive. We had gusts of 67 miles an hour at Crown Point and Corbett, 54 miles an hour at Troutdale, and the West Hills again, gusts of about 30 miles an hour there. There is a wind advisory. It's a really small area. It's just the western part of the gorge. That's it, and that'll expire at 3 o'clock tomorrow. There's also an air stagnation advisory in the areas that are not windy. The wind will be dying off as we go to tomorrow, but the fog will remain over in the Columbia Basin. So strong east winds through tomorrow, staying dry all week. We'll talk about our chances for precipitation next weekend later. David?
All right, dry all week. Thanks, Matt. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, the woman shot by a Border Patrol agent in Southeast Portland last week made her first court appearance this afternoon on immigration charges. Yorlena Zambrano Contreras appeared via video from the Northwest Detention Center in Tacoma. She's being held on a criminal complaint out of Texas, and prosecutors say she illegally entered the U.S. in 2023. Zambrano Contreras was the passenger shot by a Border Patrol agent after the driver allegedly rammed an unoccupied federal vehicle. The last 100 Oregon Army National Guard members mobilized by President Trump in September are finally home. Governor Tina Kotek and the Oregon Military Department sent us this video from PDX as the troops landed from Texas, where they had to travel to demobilize.
And I really appreciate your commitment, courage, and professionalism in this situation. So thank you and welcome home.
Yeah, welcome home. The Pentagon activated some 200 troops in September, with the president aiming to deploy them to protect federal buildings, including the South Waterfront Ice Facility, which, because of court challenges, never happened. In Clackamas County, the sheriff's office is searching for this missing and endangered 14-year-old boy. Authorities say Nathaniel Lawrence was last seen yesterday at Rowe Middle School in Milwaukee. According to his family, Nathaniel has autism and needs medication. If you know where he is, you're asked to call the sheriff's office. And also in Clackamas County, Oregon health officials have confirmed a new case of measles and say the person is not vaccinated. It's not clear right now if this person traveled outside the state or if the new case is linked to two others that were previously reported, both of those in Lynn County. Health officials say they're now working to identify people who may have been exposed. Tonight, the Federal Education Department has launched an investigation into the Vancouver School District over alleged Title IX violations. The district has a policy that allows students to participate in athletic programs based on their gender identity. That's what has them and 17 other districts under investigation. The Department of Education says it's, quote, aggressively pursuing allegations of discrimination against women and girls by entities which reportedly allow males to compete in women's sports. Vancouver Public Schools confirming it's been notified but would not comment further. Here's the view of one former college athlete who supports the federal probe and a local advocate opposing it.
When women compete against women, it is fair. When you put a man in women's athletics, it's not fair. And women have nowhere else to go.
It's designed to punish people that don't fit a specific mold as decided by another group of people.
Keep in mind, Portland Public Schools was already under investigation. Portland Public, rather, a district spokesperson there, did not have an update. All right, there are several new developments tonight when it comes to immigration enforcement in Minnesota and the backlash to it. First, the Justice Department is investigating whether Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey have impeded federal immigration enforcement with their public statements. Now, both the governor and mayor have condemned ICE operations while the White House continues to defend its operations.
It's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government.
These are all illegal alien criminals. This is all ICE is trying to do. They are trying to remove people like this from Governor Walz's state.
Meanwhile, a federal judge in Minnesota today also ruled that federal agents cannot retaliate against peaceful protesters or stop people in their cars if they are not obstructing the officers.